Well, CDC researchers say a serious birth defect is on the rise. This condition leaves vital organs on the outside of a newborn's body. Before we show you tonight's Baby Your Baby report, we want to warn you that some of these pictures may be considered graphic. These pictures were used, though, to better explain the process that doctors use to save these little babies' lives.
20 minutes after I got here, we delivered him.
Immediately after giving birth, Jessalyn Sorensen knew something was wrong.
Code 5, we've got gastroschisis.
Gastroschisis, a rare birth defect that affects around 2,000 babies every year. It causes the intestines to poke through a newborn's abdomen.
And it happens to be a congenital anomaly that we can treat relatively effectively most of the time.
With baby Grayson's intestines on the outside of his body, the next step was figuring out how to get them back in. Doctors placed his vital organs into a bag and kept his abdomen open with a spring. This allowed gravity to feed his intestines back into his body, a process that took several days.
By the time they were all in, then he was able to have his closing surgery.
That's when the real waiting began.
After the baby has a closing surgery, their bowels need to wake up.
That intestine that's been hanging out of the abdominal cavity during development usually does not work well.
Doctors waited and waited to see how Grayson's digestive system would respond.
We waited six and a half, I think maybe 7 weeks for him to have a bowel movement. And it became clear that he was not going to have one.
This led to yet another surgery, removing the parts of his digestive tract that were not working properly.
My guess is that he lost probably more than 2/3 of his intestinal length.
Despite the rough start, Grayson is doing very well.
His clinical progress, his growth, his development, he's meeting his milestones. He's responding much, much better than I would anticipate. There's no question. Grayson is a miracle.
Christina Flores, 2 News.
Often, this condition will be detected on an ultrasound prior to birth. However, doctors still aren't sure what causes it.